Testing, testing. So as you can see, the blizzard of 2026 is just beginning. It's been going on for about 3 hours now. They say this is just the small stuff. We're supposed to get like 18 inches in 24 hours. So we're gonna see. We all right. We got enough food, got enough drink. You know what I'm saying? We got enough supplies to keep us from having to go outside in this shit. Come on in. Hit that like and subscribe. All the black Americans, indigenous Americans. I mean, that's the topic. I believe we are, by every definition of the word. We would not exist here in America, and America would not exist with us in it if our ancestors weren't forcefully brought to these lands where over 400 years we mixed to become a unique ethnicity only found here in the United States of America. Our ancestors building the foundations of this great country is a testament of how we're linked to it. So, yes, by default, when you're looking at the word indigenous, the black man and woman are the only indigenous Americans. Now, there's people that were indigenous to this land, but it wasn't called America. We've got to understand that America belongs to the black man and woman. And for a long time, they were trying to get us to want to go back to Africa. There's nothing wrong with taking pride in where your ancestors come from and learning about it. But if it's not going to help you in the situation that you're in here in America, I think right now that needs to be put on the back burner. We need to be studying, we need to be unifying better our situation in this country that is ours, this nation that we built. The powers that be, they know why America can't be defeated. They know America can't be defeated from the outside because the population of black Americans are the ones who are the holy grail, are the ones who are keeping America safe. And them are just the facts. What's going on? It's like if you created something, you would take extra cautions so that what you created and what you had a special love for wouldn't get harmed. That's why the Masons were going specifically to the Caribbeans. That's why slavers were going specifically to certain tribes because they wanted the civilization creators, those that descended from the original man and woman, the A-double-O blood type. That's why when you see them and they're checking the teeth and they're checking behind the ears and all that, you're thinking they're checking, like they would do cattle. But no, they're looking for certain marks, certain genetic features. What's the question, my man? Go ahead. They're looking for certain genetic features to get a certain type of Bantu, a certain type of original man or woman, and bring them into America. It was a scramble. It was a scramble. But as you see, the South American countries and Central American countries, they didn't get the right ones. America weeded them out and brought them to America. That's why America prospered the way it did. That's why the black man and woman created all the technologies here that they created. Go ahead, ask that question, man. So there's nothing anybody can really say to disrespect the black man and woman in America because number one, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our existence. And if you were born here, you definitely wouldn't be here if we never came here to the Americas. If that ain't the creation of your reality, I don't know what is. You guys about to have a little show on camera. They must have turned up the block. I heard the fire engine. Who's us? I need to know who us is. The black man and woman. Every video that I post is about the black man and woman. Every last one of them has to do with the black man and woman. Oh, Mexico? Yeah, I talk about various nations all the time. I've talked about Russia. I think I've talked about Iran. But yes, I talk about Mexicans all the time because I seem to see a lot of videos on social media every day of Hispanics that have certain things to say, some disrespectful about the black man and woman. So I respond to them. I don't think anybody's wrong for responding. I certainly about it in my comments every day from people from the Hispanic community. But I don't have a problem with people that say they're Mexicans. I have a problem with people that got a problem with black Americans and that fix their lips to talk down on black Americans. When I think of Mexicans, I think of like if I'm saying American, I'm not thinking of a certain type of people. I'm talking about a nationality. You understand me? So for somebody to say I'm talking about a nationality. I'm talking about a country and those who are citizens are born in that country. Because if you were born here, Mexican's not on your birth certificate. I'm sorry. Them are just the facts. If you're born here, you're an American. Now, what's your ethnicity? Your ethnicity would be whatever, genetic lineage you come from. Are you more European Spaniard? Are you more indigenous American? No, to keep it real with you, what caught my eye in the first place, because where I'm from, there's no bad Hispanic, Latino, and Black relations. Like we've been dealing with each other since I was born. You understand me? I'm talking about Black gangs, Latino gangs, Latin kings, Maniac Latin disciples. You know what I'm saying? Ambrose. You know what I'm saying? Spanish cobras. You know, one of the biggest Cinco de Mayo celebrations in America is in St. Paul. You understand me? I have homeboys that got children with Mexican women. I got homeboys that are Mexican, homeboys that are Puerto Ricans. My focus came on the Chicanos, the Cholos out in Southern California, and how racist they were. You understand me? And that caught my attention because to me, it baffled me because I could never see it happen. And I was like, how did this happen? You understand me? Because unlike the West Coast, I grew up in structure. So the stuff that you see from the Mexican mafia and the stuff that you see from, the Serenios, that's small fry compared to the structure I grew up in from the streets on up. And so it just baffled me that a non black entity could be trying to talk about they control the underworld. And it caught my focus. So as I started studying, I started seeing how damn it's true. These specific peoples that call themselves Cholos, Chicanos in southern Los Angeles got an underlying hatred towards black Americans. They say it's gang related, but it's like the gang culture runs all the little, you know what I'm saying, barrios out there. And so you check the temperature by the gangsters of the hood. And I'm seeing NK on the wall. I'm seeing, spray painted murals sprayed out. But at the same time, I'm seeing these same dudes acting like they black. So I brought attention to it as a black American, because that's usually what black Americans do. Contrary to popular belief, we're very unified. So if you say something to a black in Boston and a black in Texas finds out about it, that's his business. You see, that's why they don't want us to really unify. I know how it breaks down. I know exactly how it breaks down. And I'm not mad at the structure. You got to protect your own. You got to have a structure when it comes to this gangsterism in the prison system. And you got to ask for respect. You've got to bring it to a level at certain times because you got to know your adversaries. I know all that. I know it really wasn't racial. It just happened to end up that way because you're talking about two different, you're saying entities. But it is racial when there's non gang members being accosted because they're in Hispanic neighborhoods. Are people being unalived because they're black? The funny thing about it is how everybody always says something so complex. There's nothing complex about it. In the prison system at one time, the black inmates had their way with everybody. These are just the facts. We can look back at the 80s. We can look back at the 70s, especially when they had free weights, especially when brothers weren't on all them substances. They were coming into the prison system and they were smashing things at will out on the West Coast. Now, in the prison systems where I come from, it's dominated by black inmates regardless. So we're talking about the West Coast, Cali. The blacks ran rampant through the prison system. And so when the Mexicans started doing their thing, you understand me? They had they had to level up in order to protect themselves. It's almost like a rattlesnake. It's almost like a poisonous frog. Eventually, nature is going to give it. It's going to give it a weapon to be able to level the playing field. And the Serranios, the Mexican mafia's weapon to level the playing field was the knife, right? If you're dealing with cats that are 220, 240, and athletic as a mother, and they got hands, we can't keep taking the one-on-one L's. So we've got to let the adversary know that if you touch this, it's poisonous. And the consequence of you touching it, you understand me? So when it comes to you touching us, you're gonna get bit. And the consequences are gonna be more than just, fisticuffs. And that leveled the playing field because what happens is the black inmates, a lot of them, they don't grow up on the same wavelength as Mexican gang members. Bloods and Crips don't grow up wanting to be in solitary confinement running the Emma, right? Like they think different. Like when a black man catches time, he's trying to get out of the prison. Like he's trying to do the programs, he's trying to do whatnot, he's trying to do his time and get the fuck out. You feel me? He's not going in there with the mind frame that I could go in there with 5 years and somebody's gonna tell me to do something where I could catch another 10 to 15 years. That's not how gangbang and gangs operate in the black community. So that gave the Mexicans an advantage. We call it a crash out, right? That's when you have like a motherfucker that you know you can just smash and whoop, but you got 6 months for parole, and you're gonna make parole, and you know you can smash this dude, right? But the dude's a crash out. He's a crash out. He's willing to go to take it to the next level. You're gonna have to cut his, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to take his head off. And you're not willing to do that because you want to get out. A lot of the essays are crash outs, man. They're crash outs. And you can't tell me you have any dignity or you stand on anything if you're not racist and you're sharing cells with people that are racist because it's a gang code, or you're not talking to people that you normally would talk to on the streets because somebody told you not to talk to them because of their color, because of the gang code. Because where I come from, when you start to make people do something that's not really in their heart, they break off and click up and start their own shit. That's why you got so many cliques out here, so many mobs out in the Midwest, because you're not going to tell grown men to do something that's not their makeup. So any Sereno, any Mexican gang member that follows the rules or hangs with people that are NK or that push that are all in the same bunch. That's just how we look at them. Here's an example. Here's a prime example, bro. And I know it probably ain't that bad. Cats is trying to make money on here, so they're gonna sensationalize. Even look, I'm gonna keep it real. Some of the stuff that I drop, it's old news. But as you can see, a lot of these people ain't even never even heard about it out there on the West Coast. But here's a prime example. Look at all the gangster type, old school gangster type movies about essays, about cholos in Cali. We got the what, American Me, we got the Blood In, Blood Out, we got a couple other ones, right? Blacks are depicted in their movies as enemies, number one, as enemies in each one of those movies. And they end up stabbing the blacks in the back because the blacks trust them in the movies, and they ended up using that trust that the blacks give, that love, to stab them in the back and one up. Now look at all the black hood movies, and look at the depictions of the Mexicans. We don't disrespect the Mexicans in our movies. Even in Menace to Society, the scene, oh, the essays was cool though. You see what I'm saying? Because that's how we're built, man. If we want to go into prison, regardless if we're Bloods or Crips or not, if we want to talk to a Mexican or talk to a white, we can do that. We can do that if we want to. Too bad you guys can't. You understand me? So that's where this conflict comes in, because nobody's going to respect a man that don't stand on principles and morals. You talking about you standing on a gang code, you standing on rules and regulations laid down by dudes that are never getting out in their life. They're never seeing the time of day. Their frequency is totally not the frequency that you're locked into when you're on the streets. But you're willing to go by that frequency for survival. So that's telling me when the going gets rough, you'll run off on me. You won't stand on your shit. A real man will stand on his shit. You know how you hear the stories about reputable Bloods and reputable Crips or reputable Vice Lords or reputable GDs in the prison system, and they're dealing with the opposition, and ain't nobody doing nothing or saying nothing about it? Why? Because each one of them people know them as men. Them as men, they finna do what they want. You want them to stop, you finna have to lay one of them down. Finna tell me I can't talk to somebody, you can't talk to the whites. And I see a white dude that I know I'm cool with. Man, you better kiss my ass. Me and my whole crew in that going up. Because they going to be like, what? Now, when it comes to security reasons, oh, I can see why, for security reasons. You don't want somebody poisoning your food. You don't want somebody, you know what I'm saying, flipping or giving out information or getting one up on somebody. That's where I see it. Codes of conduct. But at no time ever were the SAs running Southern California. No, nobody's bigger than the program. That's false. That's false. That nobody's bigger than the program just means ain't nobody hard enough to create their own program. Period. You guys got manipulated, man. Period. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I come from look. Ain't nothing wrong with structure, but the structure that you guys got put under, that ain't nothing new. That's how a small few rule off a bunch of dun-dun-dun-duns. That's big me, little you all day. You understand me? That's why I said where I'm from, you still got structure, you still got the tops and you still got all that. But our tops, like the leader of the organization that I belong to, is a free man, 75 years old. He's a free man. Like we don't look up to leaders that are doing forever behind bars. That's not constructive to the black man and woman. So there's going to always be a conflict. And we know for a fact if there was no such thing as shanks in prison, lock socks, if it was just hands in prison, a lot of the essays wouldn't eat. You understand me? If there was no weapons in the penitentiary in California, a lot of Serenios wouldn't eat. That's literally. So we just got to keep it real. I'm just sick of seeing these dudes out there in the Cali acting like they're on some sort of structure nobody else has ever seen before. You just got numbers. If I got 50 dudes, you could have five of the best fighters in the penitentiary. But if I got 50 dudes, I'm gonna get you every time. That's a no-brainer. Well, I mean, we've all watched the Nature Show. Look at this. When it comes to prisons in California, it's like the Nature Show. The black inmates are the lions, and the Mexican inmates are the hyenas. It's literally like that. Now, see, this is the thing about the nukes, man. Nukes, countries get nukes. They don't get them to use them. We're the only ones that have used an atomic weapon, America, because we're just that wild. But countries get them because once you've got them, it's a deterrent. You understand me? Once you got them, you can't be invaded. So once you're like in the game. And so, like, our governments tell us Iran wants to nuke because they want to hit Israel and they want to hit. No, they want it because once they get it, nobody's going to hit them. You feel me? Like, it puts them on a different level. Plus, it gives them the ability to generate power without having to use oil. It puts them on a different playing field. And that's why when you keep a country from getting the nuclear capabilities, the power to use nuclear energy, you keep them in the Stone Age, basically, compared to everybody else. Israel has nuclear weapons. They're the only country that has them that doesn't officially admit to it. Now, there's rumors South Africa has them because they were spooked during apartheid. They were outnumbered and they needed something in case, it was all else fails. We're not going to give the country to blacks. Oh no, I'm not switching up. I was answering somebody's question. Now, what I was saying is the prisons in Cali are like the Nature Channel, where the black inmates would be the Zimbas, And Hispanics would be the equivalent to the hyenas. If you got 30 hyenas, they're going to get 3 lions. They're going to fuck them up good. But if you got a hyena and you got a lion, 9 times out of 10, the lion's going to win. And them are just the facts. Now, the title says Indigenous Americans. Black Americans are indigenous Americans. What up, New Jersey? We just chilling, you know what I'm saying? We got the blizzard starting outside. You know, typical Minneapolis, Minnesota. Peace and love, peace and love. We talking about everything here at the spot, man. And like I said, I usually don't go do too many lives, so I'm kind of new to this. If I see a question on a topic, I'm going to reply to it. If I don't see it, just keep putting it up. I'll catch it. But I mean, we're talking about Iran having nuclear weapons. We're talking about Mexican and black relations. We know there's spots in America where the Mexicans, the Hispanics, and the blacks, they're 1-1. And they've always been like that. And it's love. There's no hate. Cats are having families together. But we're specifically talking about this West Coast, Southern California frequency that seems to got the essays thinking that they're the cream of the crop. And I think like they're living in a false reality. You're living in a false reality, Holmes. And we were talking about how their gangs got hijacked by some dudes that were never getting out of prison. It's real easy. Say we got a prison now. We got a state. Say we got a state. Nobody's ever been put in the prisons yet, but we got 3 prisons in that state. You feel me? So boom, they open it up. Now they're putting people in these prisons. Now let's say all the lifers. There's 100 lifers in this prison. Say half of them lifers just want to do their times. The average poop butts, dudes who victimized the innocent people out there, girls, you know, kids, them type of people. And then you got the other ones that really went off on some, you know, a killing spree maybe. So you take 20 of those and you put them together. They're never getting out. They make a pact with each other. Anybody who defies us, we're just going to whack them. We're never leaving anyways, right? So what do? They intimidate everybody that's on the streets, that's on a path to come to prison. And they tell them, you better follow our rules. And as a matter of fact, you better pay a little tax on the side. Because if you don't, when you come in here, you're never getting out. You guys got extorted. Your big homies got extorted. That's what happened. Your big homies got extorted. Whoever came to the meeting at that park, and a lot of you did, for power. Oh, you going to call it for your hood. You going to call it for your hood. But you guys are going to answer to us, right? And we're going to use your members to basically keep us fed. Make sure we get commissary and make sure, you know, we got something to do back here in solitary motherfucking confinement. Because we're never getting out. And so this bravado that you guys are tough and all this, nah. You're crash outs, dude. It's like if I'm going into the penitentiary and I got 3 years, I'm not trying to play no fucking American me. I'm trying to get out to my kids and shit. You guys in there I'm trying to get to the hole, Holmes, to talk to one of the legends. Like that'd be your guys' lifestyle. Then you fix your lips to disrespect us, but it's like if we took everything back that you guys copy from us, man, you'd be like motherfucking chili with no motherfucking chili powder. So let's just keep it real, man. You see outside, you see what it looks like outside. Where I come from, we do what you guys do when it looks like this outside, Cali. How you know saying because sometimes you can put yourself in a reality where you don't realize what's going on outside your bubble. What you're doing and what you guys have been doing in California ain't new. I'm sorry to tell you, homie. And I know a lot of us thought what was going on in Los Angeles was something new because of the movies. We were young, and I'm specifically talking to a lot of the G's, a lot of the old heads. You know what I'm saying? We thought it was something because we seen the colors, we seen the boys in the hood. You know, Hollywood made it look so thorough, right? In all reality, as we started to grow up and realize they weren't doing shit no different than we was doing. Like I was gang banging before I knew what a blood in the crib was. That's real talk. You understand me? And so when we started realizing that these dudes was basically just about try to look tough. They didn't have really no structure to them. We consider them gangbangers. And that's what you guys are out there, is gangbangers. The only thing structured out there is those that call themselves Mexican Mafia and those that call themselves Aryan Brotherhood. And there's some structured black sets out there, individual black sets. But everybody that's a Serenio, they get marked out by the Mexican Mafia with promises of getting life. That's what you guys graduate with. If you guys, if you're a Serenio, the best that they're going to give you is life with them. That's just straight the fuck up, and you can't deny that. To be the hardest in your gang, you have to end up next to a motherfucker older than you, giving you their stamp of approval to take their place when they die in the cell next to you. So yeah, you guys rule that type of atmosphere. That's cool. But anything outside of that, nobody gives about it. And that's just the truth, man. It ain't no disrespect. It ain't no disrespect. When you go towards the East Coast and you look at the Hispanic culture, people emulate it. People love it. You hear it on the radio. You hear stuff from the Caribbeans on the radio. Like you go down to Texas. Like there's a certain style that people enjoy mixing that with their life. And don't nobody give a about no cholo. You know that's not even it's not even romantic. Like the last movies was what American Me in blood out. Why? Because ain't nobody gonna go to the box office. Ain't nobody gonna pay big money to watch a story about no cholo. But they'll watch a story about somebody from South Central or Compton all day, every day. Ain't nobody in China trying to listen to uh what is his name, Lefty Gunplay, but they're trying to listen to a black boy. Now, I'll guarantee you. So I'm saying it's just two different levels, man. And the shit's got to stop. It got into my algorithm. You know what I'm saying? And I was disgusted. And we was just trying to bring, some awareness to those who call themselves Serenios. That's what happened. One day, a bunch of lifers got together and said, we're going to extort all the Mexican gangs. Well, how are we going to do that? We're going to make a pact that those that don't agree to what we offer them, if they come behind these walls, they're not leaving, right? And so what happens? Them dudes agree to join this coalition and pay taxes. And so they're used to violate their members who don't agree and make sure they stay in line on the streets so they can mule back favors, favors for lifers, people they never met. So don't act like don't nobody understand who you guys are, or like that there's some mystic. Oh, this is Cali business. You wouldn't understand the politics, Holmes. Like, stop that. Once again, the dudes you call legends are legends because they had the gall to trick off their whole life. The dudes I call legends, like, got their own Mexican mafias, just black style. You dig what I'm saying? Over and over and over again. Nobody intimidated by that shit. East of the Mississippi, man. What you guys thought it was? The black man and woman in America, man. Like, you people out here got to understand, we don't give about your name calling. You think there's a name that you can call us that's really going to get us mad? We just be hoping you guys use that word and think you can use it, or use it to get us mad, thinking, oh, that you got one up. No, we just use that as a reason to you know what I'm saying, put the foo flops on you. That's all that be. We be hoping you say it. It's music to our ears because we're really a peaceful people and we can take a lot, skin thick. Now I'm full of well, I got to be full of it. What am I saying that's a lie? What did I say that's a lie? When I said the Mexican mafia extorts Serenios, in return, the Serenios extort the Mexicans, like the real Mexicans that come over here and try to work hard, the ones we see setting up their own businesses and stuff. Yeah, that makes me full of shit because I'm dropping the knowledge to the people. Come on, man. You guys are like a nature channel. In the words of my cats all from the East Coast, you guys are like a nature channel, son. A mother nature channel, God. Straight up. We sit and observe you like a movie. When we say the black man and woman are indigenous America, because America doesn't exist without us, and we were created in America, no place else. We're indigenous Americans in every sense of the word. Now I'm full of hate. How am I full of hate? Just because you don't agree with somebody, and just because you confront somebody with an opposition to what they're standing on, and it has to do with ethnicity, doesn't mean it's race. Somebody's racist. Like, why I got to be racist? I'm not out here trying to keep anybody down because of their ethnicity. I'm not out here stepping on anybody's toes because of their ethnicity, plotting on them. I'm not out here calling anybody derogatory names because of their ethnicity. Like, what are you talking about? I'm racist. I'm racist because I said the Mexican mafia was extorting the Serenios. That makes me racist. I'm racist because I said black Americans are indigenous Americans. That makes me racist. I'm speaking on Southern California cholos, gang members. What are you talking about? Like, that's literally what we've been talking about. Like, I spent 6 months in a cell with a man from Lennox, had it all on his stomach, named Odd Boy. If you out there and you hear me, tap in. This was back in the like 2001 in a penitentiary in South Dakota. Gave me the full rundown. I've been to Los Angeles, been to Compton. Like, I'm not sitting here talking on something that I don't know about. I'm an OG where I'm from. When I say that, I'm saying that to let you know that I'm not no young fruit on this mother. I'm literally looking at it like it's funny to me. And I use it as content. It's not that serious to me. But for you guys to sit here and say I'm racist, that baffles me because there's nothing that I'm saying that's not true. The Mexican mafia extorts Serenios. There's nothing tough about being extorted. So you can say you belong to the body. There's nothing you guys are doing outside of your jurisdiction. And that's the federal prison, your state prisons on the West Coast and in Southern Los Angeles. Outside of that, your reality doesn't count. That's what I'm trying to say. And so when you sit there and write the NKs on the wall and things of that nature and get mad at us, you need to take some of that energy, man, and you need to direct that. You need to direct that towards ICE, man, for real. But this is something that I learned about that too. The cats that not sweating ICE, them are the dudes that descend from the Spaniards, man. Look at them. Because ICE is grabbing the brown ones. ICE is grabbing the indigenous ones. Like them are the ones that come over here and they're really trying to work, right? The ones that don't like them are the ones that they call Chicanos. They're the ones that look like they're European. A lot of them are. You see, even in their culture, look at their movies. What was the dude on Blood In, Blood Out? He was a white dude. What was the dude in American Me? He was half white and half Mexican. The main character. Remember his mom got in the Zusu riots? So that, like, come on, man. You're not fooling nobody, homie. There ain't no brown and black and brown and all. You guys are not brown. You guys are Europeans with some indigenous blood in you, man. That you guys try to use to romanticize your rights to be in this land, like some Kevin Costner shit. We ain't dancing with wolves here, man. You understand me? This is the Midwest. We ain't got no problem with nobody's ethnicity, man. The city I come from is a city full of mixed motherfuckers. What is you talking about? We just got a problem with bozos and cats who think they is when we know they not, man. Like, stop it. You seem like you got too caught up in your movies, man. Now, like I said, I grew up around Hispanics that I'll give my life up for, period. Which means I would roll with them over cats of my own ethnicity. That's how much the love is. So for somebody to sit here and say I'm racist, I don't get it. Because a lot of you, I was doing this before you was born. I'm just saying, Serenios in California, those who call themselves cholos, they got the gall. I'm here. It's a wake up call. You guys really ain't running nothing. You're a bunch of dudes being extorted by guys that are never getting out of the penal system, that have set up basically one of the greatest Ponzi schemes so that they can keep generating money for their commissary and to take care of their family and stay some sort of relevant, have something to do where they're sitting in the fucking hole. Like, that's not the black man and woman's life. That's not our mind frame. I'm sorry. So yeah, you win that all day, every day. Why? Because that's an evil frequency. That's an evil lifestyle. As I said before, if a black man can get out of prison by just doing his time and staying out of trouble, that's what he's gonna want to do. He don't want to go in there and have to fucking play American Me. Be all fucking serious all the fucking time. Play these goof butt ass rules. Like, homie, like I said, I came from structure, people's nation. You know what I'm saying? Folks nation, peace stones, the real ones. You feel me? Vice lords, disciples, the mob. And in the prison system, everybody chills with everybody, homie. And ain't no racial shit. It better not be because the blacks outnumber everybody. Now I'm gonna want to be Martin Luther King. You ain't never heard me once talk about we shall overcome or turn the other cheek. Stop that. Now I'm the clown. The clown is somebody that belongs to a gang that says they're not racist, but when they get locked up or get around their gangs, they have to act racist or accept racism and support it. That shows no character. That shows an unwillingness to die for principles that you truly believe in. That means you're fake. You fake the fraud. That means you will compromise your true belief in what's in your heart for the gang, right? That means you put the gang's rules before your own moral principles and even that of your families, right? That's sucker shit. So don't get mad at me and call me racist because I point that out. That's sucker shit. And there's nothing gangster about belonging to a gang that has to pay taxes to belong a gang. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like the whole system was based on lifers needing some food, needing some money. So they're going to extort you guys and say, if you're going to commit crimes, you better pay taxes because if you get caught for committing them crimes and you don't pay taxes, we're going to slaughter you up in here. You'll never get out, punk, right? And then every lifer, everybody that comes in that's got a, a brain issue, a psychological condition that they see, like somebody who just don't got nobody or somebody who just will throw it all away or has thrown it all away, that's who they take and pick to take their place. You're going to be my homeboy, Carnal. I'm going to teach you it all, Holmes. You feel what I'm saying? Like I could write a movie about this shit, Joe. And so they get these dudes, we call them send-offs, crash outs. And then they put it, you're gonna run this block for me, you're gonna run this block for me. Whole time they got you dudes coming in, you fresh off the block, kicking it with a nigga, trying to dress like one, listening to the music by one, trying to rap like one, talking like one, calling yourself a ninja. You understand me? But as soon as it's like, turn around, spread your butt cheeks, cough 3 times, as soon as that starts to happen, now all of a sudden you won't even look at a black. That shows there's no character in you, man. Because where I come from, if you tell a group of dudes to not do something that they're not with, they're gonna break off and start their own clique and ride or die for their belief. But that's a black thing. You know, I am okay. I guess you could say I'm biased because I'm speaking from a black point of view. Maybe I'm wrong. If you agree with me, you know what I'm saying? I like them flames. If you agree with me, let me see some flames in the comment section. You know, is that not mark ass shit? That your gang would have to pay taxes. Otherwise, they'll get their ass taxed when they get to prison. What did JC say? That ain't diamonds. What you done to that? That ain't a gang, man. The hell is that? Like, don't you see our movies, man? Our movies, the Black American movies, be like about brothers trying to make it out. You feel what I'm saying? That's the whole principles of our movies. It's trying to do better. All of your movies is like trying to end up in prison. They all end up terribly. I noticed that. So yeah, it's a real hellhole ass cholo culture, man. And that's just what it is. We just like to keep it real. I'm not saying I know everything, but I know one thing. Ain't nothing tough about paying taxes. Period. There's nothing cool about trying to say you're not racist, but then having to even be around motherfuckers that's racist. Because, like I said, I grew up around motherfuckers that was real ones. Real alphas do what the fuck they want. They're respectable, but you're not going to tell a motherfucker to do something that's against his moral principles. That's just a black thing. You understand me? Don't tell a motherfucker they can't. And then you listen to them. Y'all listen to them. Why? Because y'all are scared of each other. I'm gonna tell you what would happen right now. If there was no rule amongst the Mexican gangs that they couldn't share food and that they couldn't talk with the black inmates, a lot of you Serenios would be flipping. A lot of you Serenios want to flip. You wish you weren't. You wish you weren't Serenios locked in like that. Truth be told, oh, man. But yeah, man, I almost felt like cats was believing their own hype. Cats was really believing their own hype, not realizing that most of that blacks are scared of Serenios and all that. That was clickbait, man. That was all clickbait. Don't nobody believe that. Everybody knows that's bullshit. Now, when it comes to 100 Serenios ready to crash out because they're scared to death of a one-on-one, or they're just scared to death, period. They don't want it, and they'd rather just crash out. Yeah. Okay, you guys win. You guys win the weirdo award. Because that's all that shit is. Hey, let's keep it real though. Remember we was talking about black movies, black gangster movies compared to like Hispanic gangster movies as far as gangs go. All their movies got something to do with the Rainbow Bright activities. Remember Blood In, Blood Out? Remember you had to do that Rainbow Bright ass in the in the food pantry. Remember he had to do the little whoop whoop in the food pantry. Dude tried to choke him up in the cell when he first got there. You remember on motherfucking American Me, right off the bat. Remember how they got to do so? Yeah, you know, we already know what type of level the cholos are on out in Los Angeles. They look tough. They look tough. Bunch of meat bags. I'm telling you this right now, dog. Some of them got hands like anybody got hands. You feel me? But man, stop it. Only reason why they winning right now is because a lot of our shorties, a lot of our little young dudes that are, in the game, they off all these substances. They about $1.20. You feel me? But that last generation that put hands to feet on them, that made them do what they did, the generation coming out of the 80s, 88, 99, I mean 95, 94, in between them years, we was in shape, we had hands, We wasn't doing nothing but some drink and some, you know what I'm saying, some blunts. So we was you guys definitely wasn't seeing them in the prisons. That's when it started to go up because I heard through the grapevine that most of the problems in the California prisons that arise between the races arise because the blacks just don't follow your motherfucking rules and do what they want to do whenever they want to do it. They cross the line. You cross the line, Holmes. That's just what I'm hearing. No, that wasn't started by me. I heard that from a credible, reputable, from the land. That most of the time it'd be like because brothers come in and come on, Holmes, we're trying to watch the TV. It's too loud, Holmes. Shit like that. Or it's my turn, Holmes. And get out the way, man. And shit. Hey, Leroy, you gonna give me back my soups? That's it. Fuck no. Shit like that. And then all of a sudden it's up. Like, we gotta do something, Holmes. We gotta hit them ayates. I'm just saying, man. If I'm wrong, let me know. We just try to keep it real, man. Come my homeboy, piece of Gregory I boy from Lennox. Did time with him, but busted spreads with him. His uncle doing an L right next to me. You know what I'm saying? And their friends ran a tight ship, but he broke it down to me. He let me know right off the bat. If we was back home, we wouldn't be in the cell together. You understand me? Let me know the rules and why, what happened. But what can we do, Holmes? Nobody's bigger than the program. Man, come on, dude. Why do you think there's gangs? Because if that was if that was the truth, there would just be one super gang. No, motherfuckers don't be wanting to do it that way. We're not doing it that way. We're not feeling that. We're not feeling that. Well, you guys just ain't got that in you. You understand me? Just ain't got it in you. And so all that frustration comes out on who? The people you thought was the punching bags. Nah, you got your dealings, just like you say, I pick one or two different Hispanics and I blame the whole bunch. Well, your dealings with these brothers and sisters out in California got you all discombobulated because you get on the internet and you fail to realize when you're disrespecting blacks in California, you're disrespecting blacks everywhere in America. And we're not, look, we got different temperatures, homie. We're used to different shit. And I don't give a fuck about your programs or your politics. My politics, where I'm from, oversees that. So it is what it is. Take that how you want to. All I know is when I see a problem with black men and women anywhere in the world, that's my problem. So just like you telling me to stay out of it, I can't stay out of it because my black man and woman's beef is my beef. And as a youngin say, pause. You think we in a time when we need to negotiate? Come on, man. That's why I got to keep reminding you guys in Southern Cali, in Los Angeles. You guys are not doing nothing new. That shit was working in the early 90s when niggas didn't know better. And you was pulling up in their little small towns. You know, you had the swag and the talk. But that'd be an act. Let's get it. There was only a few, there was a few reputables from all your gangs. And then were the prototypes to every other one of you motherfuckers. And half of you don't even exceed the limitations of being normal gangbangers. You just ride off of that act, that show, the same way that you stand the same way, you talk the same way, your hand gestures the same way, because one real motherfucker did it like that, and it worked for him, so all of you do it. And that worked in the early 90s. Cats was intimidated by that. It threw them off in a lot of these small towns. Now, motherfucker done realize, man, that shit's an act. You guys wasn't dropping nobody no better than anybody else in St. Louis, Gary, Chicago, Minneapolis, New Orleans, Memphis. Like, come on, man. Talking about you the capital. Ain't the how was you guys the capital? Didn't nobody know about you until Colors came out. Literally. You know, man, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna call it. We're gonna call it one. Thanks for joining. Love debating. Peace and love to my Mexicans. Peace and love to my black brothers, my black sisters out there. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna let the small few break up the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And taint the views of the many who know the truth. One love.